Hello everyone, I'm Aveline. Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all having an amazing day. So this is the third house of our zodiac tiny houses, and we're doing Gemini today. So I just quickly want to say that we're doing these in the actual order. So because I haven't seen if there's been any comments like this under the past two videos, but on the in-game gallery at least, I got like, could you do something something? So like, I'm just gonna do them in the actual order. I'm not suddenly gonna do a Scorpio if the next one is Cancer, if that makes sense. So, you know, if you're waiting for Pisces, it's gonna take a while for us to get there, but we'll get there eventually. Just stay patient. So we are doing, it was probably a Leo who said that, to be honest. Like, that would be a typical Leo thing, isn't it? No offense to my Leos out there. One of my best friends is a Leo. I just want to point that out. But yeah, we're doing Gemini today. So as for this house, I had this idea after reading a little bit about Geminis that I wanted the house to be a small house, kind of in the countryside, close to a small town, and Geminis are known to be very social. And so I had this idea also that they're a writer. So I felt like a small cottage outside of town would be perfect for them so they could like zone out, or not zone out, but like just get in the zone, I suppose, and just do their work without interruptions, without noise going on outside, just like kind of solitary a little bit. Like, does that make sense? But I also had this picture of this Gemini to basically be the only person in the small town who knew everyone. So in that way, they're very social and very talkative and very friendly and open and everything. But they still get the opportunity to kind of, you know, go to their cottage and like, yeah, recharge first of all, but also do their thing. You know, they got to do some work and stuff. So that's just kind of the picture that I had when I started building this. And although I didn't really, because it's a tiny house, and this time it actually is a tiny house, I checked the tile counter. I think we end up on 60 tiles out of 64. So I didn't have room for them to have like a home office or anything like that, but there is a laptop on their dining table. So I tried to make sure. I also put in a bookcase actually. So I tried to make sure that it would still kind of look like they were a writer, but it's difficult when you still want to make sure that they have a living room and a proper bedroom as well, and a whole kitchen and everything, but I did my best. So they do have a little bit of a workstation. But anyways, as for Geminis, their element is air, which is the same one as mine, which is, I'm an Aquarius, not to talk about myself, but anyway, their colors are light green and yellow, which is something that I tried to, in case you can't tell, I really tried to make that show throughout the build. So even though green and yellow is not my favorite color combination for whatever reason, I like it for farmhouses and cottages sometimes. So I really wanted to really go all in on these colors without overdoing it. I wanted to do as much of this color combination as I could without it looking a bit too much. For my taste at least, like we might have different limits. But light green and yellow, their quality is mutable, which I don't know what means, but their day is Wednesday, so not today. Happy Saturday, people. Their ruler is Mercury, and their greatest compatibility is Sagittarius and Aquarius. Ironically, I do not have a Gemini friend, so that sucks. Anyway, their lucky numbers are 5, 7, 14, and 23. And you are a Gemini if you're born between May 21st and the 20th of June. I don't know why I said May 20th. Well, I usually put dates before month, but on this page it's actually written month and then date, so I just kind of read out. Anyway, I'm European. We don't do that over here. So anyway, their strengths are that they are gentle, affectionate, curious, adaptable, and they have the ability to learn quickly and also like to exchange ideas. Their weaknesses are that they are nervous, inconsistent, and indecisive. Oh, me too. Way too indecisive. Anyway, they like music, books, magazines, chats with nearly anyone, short trips around the town, and they dislike being alone, being confined, repetition, and routine. So essentially, well, this also has room for two Sims, by the way, so they could be like what's it called, a couple living here, but I would say that making a tiny house for a Gemini is not easy if they don't like to be confined, but we gotta do what we gotta do for this week. So here we are. But I think this apparently means that Geminis do not like living in tiny houses anyway. Or maybe being confined is the wrong way, or like tiny houses don't necessarily mean that you are confined. It's more like you're not jailed up, right? Like you don't want to be jailed. Like who does? Who wants to be jailed up? I don't even know if that's how you phrase that, but anyway. So I just kind of took it as like it's not they don't like to be in small spaces, but anyway. I was mostly inspired by they like books, magazines, and chats with nearly anyone because that means that they're very social. And also the short trips around town. I thought that sounded super cute. Like I could imagine this Gemini going to the town just like pick up a coffee or something before going back to do some work. I don't know what kind of writer they are. They could be working for a magazine. They could be an author who writes books. No idea. Let me know if you got any ideas yourself. Maybe they do, because they do have like a little bit of a garden space outside, so they could be working for like a gardening magazine of some kind. Maybe one that's super popular in the town that they live in or something. I don't know. Could be kind of cute. But yeah, that's the information I have about Geminis. Other than that, I don't really know much. I don't know any Geminis. Well, my nephew is a Gemini, but he doesn't like to chat with anyone. So he's a very shy little guy. So he definitely does not fit with this. And also I have a brother-in-law, his dad actually, who's also a Gemini, but I don't really know I feel weird talking about him on the channel because I don't really know him that well, which might sound weird, but like my big sister is 10 years older, so he's like 13 years older than me, so, or 14 years older maybe. So I don't talk to him much. I like him, he's cool, but I don't talk to him much, so I can't really say much. I can't really compare it to the information on this page. It also says that they are expressive and quick-witted and sociable, communicative. They're ready for fun, but they also have a tendency to suddenly get serious, thoughtful, and restless. And they're also extremely curious. Plus, they feel like because it is a twin sign, they are constantly looking for new friends or new partners or stuff because they feel like their other half is missing in some way. So I don't know. That's all I can gather from this website. If you are a Gemini and you recognize any of that, let me know. But I also forgot I forgot my disclaimer at the start of the video. So I am not an expert when it comes to zodiac signs like astrology, not even a little bit. So take everything I say with a grain of salt, and if anything's wrong and you are an expert so you know that it's wrong, it's the page's fault, it's the website's fault. I am literally just saying what it's telling me to say, so I don't know anything myself. But yeah, if you recognize anything that I have mentioned and you're a Gemini, let me know. And if anything's wrong and you want to add to it because you know a little bit better, feel free to as well. So as for this is like the common room in the house. I actually had issues trying to figure out what sort of layout I wanted to go with, because the window placement mixed with just the shape of the house was so annoying. So the kitchen especially turned out to be a little bit of a hassle to place down or like find a room for or whatever. I think the layout as it is in the end is okay. I'm not a huge fan of, I probably do this often, especially with tiny houses, but I'm actually not a huge fan of placing couches in the middle of rooms. It just wasn't really working otherwise. Otherwise, I would have had to place the TV in the middle of the room. And I think I've told this story once before on the channel, but my mom in her apartment, she used to, does she anymore? I can't remember. I don't think she does anymore, but she used to have this like big TV on a table in the middle of the room. So it had wheels, so you can kind of like pull it out but then put it back against the wall, but it would be so that it would be placed in a way that you had to pull it out for you to be able to see the TV in a comfortable way at least. And so one day, because my brother and I are very close in age, so like we tease each other all the time, and he was chasing me through the apartment. and I ran into the TV and it almost fell on the ground. Like, it almost did. And so since then, I've been like, no, TVs don't go in the middle of the room. Like, that just not happen. Because what if you bump into it? Like, you'd get yourself a broken TV, and that's just, oh, that hurts your bank account and everything. Or your entertainment needs for the week or whatever, you know? It's just, no. They don't go in the middle of the room, so I prefer not to place them there, but I don't really love when couches are in the middle of the room either. I don't know. It's difficult to explain. It's like, well, mine is, and I don't really mind mine, but that's because I can lie down and then, like, no one can see me from the TV, but maybe I'm just a little paranoid. It might just be paranoia. I don't, or see me from the TV. I meant the window. Did I say TV? I feel like I said TV. I don't know anymore. But yeah, maybe I'm just a little bit paranoid, but it's the whole like, is someone standing behind me thing? It's not really, but it's like a mix of that and then something else I can't really put into words. So I just don't like that. But we had to do that for this house because the layout is a little bit annoying. The bedroom as well is a bit on the long and narrow side, but I did play test it, so everything is fine. You can access both sides of the bed. It should all be good. And other than that, I don't think there should be any problems with the house. So just so you know, everything's play tested and approved on my side, but it might be different for you when you download the house because the game is a little bit unpredictable at times. So as for the yard or the garden, I wanted to make sure that since Geminis are a very social sign, I wanted to make sure that they both had a grill up here. I am losing my voice, just ignore that. But anyway, I wanted to make sure that they had a grill up here, and then for bad weather days, they could eat here on the patio. But then I also placed down a bigger dining table in the yard itself so they could have friends over, because I figured social signs kind of want friends over now and then. Like, they probably have a lot of friends, and like I mentioned, I kind of saw this as like a sim or a couple, and just one of the sims have like made friends with everyone in the small town that they live by, and I just figure that would mean as well that they would have friends over now and then or guests over now and then. So it was important for me to place down a bigger dining table so that they could invite people over to eat and stuff. And there's not really room for, you know, guests inside of the house, so they had to go outside. They have a small car so that they can go to the town unless they want to take the bike, because I do place one of those down later on as well. And I also ended up giving them 3 fruit trees that are actually blossomed and stuff. So when you download it, there should be 3 fully grown fruit trees right here. And that is just, I thought it would make like a nice little side project for them, but they're not. It's not because they are a gardening type of sign. They're not a sign that's connected to gardening and stuff, at least not according to the information that I have. So it's got nothing to do with that. I just figured it would be nice to have like a little side project, but also some free fruit, and also it looked really cute. So, you know. And then as for the house, so it is actually inspired by a picture that I found on Pinterest. I did have to change it up a little bit, and then I made it yellow. But also because the roofing, there was a second floor on the original house that I couldn't manage to make in The Sims because it just wasn't doable. So I changed it up like that. And also it had a lot of like wilder looking sort of foliage around it, and I wanted to somewhat recreate it but make it less wild. So it was very inspired by that. There was like a lot of grass surrounding this house. Like, they clearly had not kept, you know, they hadn't, what do you call that, mowed their lawn for a while or like kept any of the gardening, well, that doesn't make sense. Any of the foliage, any of the plants surrounding the house. You know what I mean, okay? I just don't know how to phrase things. So I just wanted to tone it down a little bit, but I was very inspired by it because there was a lot of it, and it looked really good around this house. Because it had like a cottage vibe to it as well. And then I also added some pink, purple, and a little bit of peach here and there as well. Not that it goes super well with the yellow wood siding, but I think it looks cute still. It's got like a cutesy kind of vibe to it, but that's also, it kind of goes with a house in that way because it's a cottage and cottages are cute, right? So anyway, that's all I got for you today. That's all I gotta say for this house. So if you like it, you can download it off the gallery. My ID is AvelineYT, and you can also find it under the hashtag Aveline or AvelineYT. And as always, the tray files can be found over on my Patreon, which will be linked to in the description box as well as in the pinned comment. And there will also be a link to my booktube channel in the pinned comment, so if you like to read and you like to watch videos about books, check it out. But that's all I got for you guys today, so I hope you all enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe and all that good stuff if you did, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye!
Oh baby, love me like you did last night. I wanna hold you till the morning comes. Oh baby, love me like you did, love me like you did. Oh baby, kiss me till I see the light, like you did last night, like you did last night. Could it be that I'm lucky to have found someone who is just as crazy as me? Or is it just in